If you grew up believing that fast food was quick, cheap, reliable answer to the busy day, well, I have bad news for you. That era is officially over. Welcome back to Perspectives of Jerry. Today, getting a couple burgers, fries, a drink can easily run you about $15 to $20. The term fast food is used to be synonymous with value. But for millions of people, now it's become a luxury, a weekly treat, not a daily necessity. The sticker shock, folks, is real. I want to dive into the price explosion, and we're going to start first with the history of where fast food pricing began, track how it got to this incredible point, and more importantly, we'll talk about what consumers, like you and me, are doing now to fight back against this $15 combo meal. To understand the anger today, we have to look back at the original contract fast food made with the American consumer. In the 1950s and 60s, fast food chains, pioneered by places like McDonald's and Burger King, sold one core idea: speed and affordability through efficiency. Sorry, I can talk. Their original prices were revolutionary. A burger might cost 15 or 20 cents. Adjusted for inflation, that's still incredibly cheap, but the real key was the perception of extreme value. The promise was solidified in the late 1990s and 2000 with the rise of the dollar menu. This wasn't just a pricing strategy, it was a cultural cornerstone. You could always get a quick meal, maybe a McDouble, McChicken, for $1. This created a generation of consumers who saw fast food as the fallback option for budgeting. However, now the price hikes themselves didn't happen overnight, however. They began with quiet changes. The disappearance of the true $1 item, the introduction of value menus, where the cheapest item was $1.59 or $1.99, and the creeping increase of combo prices. But even through the 2010s, fast food maintained its identity as a cheaper alternative to sit-down meals. It was still the winner of food at home versus food away from home CPI comparisons. Fast food prices generally rose slower than the cost of groceries, and now look where we are today. The price situation today isn't a simple case of corporate greed, though that does certainly play a role in it. It's a confluence of three major economic forces hitting the industry simultaneously, forcing price increases that often outpace general inflation. The first massive factor is labor. In many states, including large markets like California, new minimum wage laws have pushed the hourly rate for fast food workers significantly higher. For an industry that relies on a thin margin and a massive volume, an immediate and substantial jump in labor costs has to be passed directly to the consumer. For the average restaurant, labor is a huge operational cost, and they defend the price increases as necessary to simply maintain that teeny 3 to 5% profit margin. Second is the cost of ingredients. Beef, chicken, cooking oil, even the plastic cups and paper napkins has soared in prices as of late. While grocery store prices have stabilized slightly, the fast food industry was hit pretty hard by the pandemic-era supply chain issues and continuous commodity price increases. They are also buying from commercial suppliers whose prices reflect distribution and processing costs. Now finally, we have to acknowledge corporate strategy here. Chains like McDonald's have seen their menu prices increase by over 100%. Let me repeat that, over 100% in the last decade alone, far outpacing inflation. Once a brand raises prices and consumers tolerate it, there's little incentive to bring them back down. They found that In many locations, people were willing to pay a higher price for the convenience, and they adjusted their profit expectations upward. They've essentially repositioned their product from budget meal to premium convenience meal. The result is the perceived value now is gone. When your drive-through meal costs the same as a quality sit-down dinner at a local pub, consumers start kind of reevaluating their choices. Before I continue, trust me, I know I did. Fast food restaurants, I probably haven't eaten in a McDonald's in 2 years, to be really honest with you. And unless I'm on the road traveling, I don't even try. So, continuing on, what happened? So, we have to ask ourselves what happens when a fundamental consumer contract, which is the promise of cheap and quick food, is broken. Well, consumers stage a quiet revolution. We are seeing a major shift in behavior, and the drive-through lanes are feeling it. Surveys now show that a huge majority of Americans, often over 70%, now view fast food as a luxury item, not a budget solution. The immediate response is to cut back. People are reducing the number of fast food trips or are eliminating them entirely. They are experiencing sticker shock at the window and driving away. This is a crisis for chains that relied on high frequency and low margin purchases. Their core clientele, low to middle income families, simply can't afford the new prices. So, the most powerful counter trend is the drastic return to home cooking for convenience. Consumers are realizing that many fast food items can be made at home just as quickly, much cheaper, and with better quality. And before I continue with what I've already written, I want to make a mention that during COVID, one thing I noticed when I was in the grocery stores is all the cheap, easy items were gone. Frozen pizza, pasta sauce, that. But a lot of the real food remained. And I think it's because people had forgotten what their oven was for other than making a pizza. So, me, someone who knows how to cook for himself, I did rather well. I always had, fresh meat, fresh vegetables, potatoes, that type of stuff. Easy stuff, but still at home and healthy and cheaper overall. So I think a return to your kitchen, a return to your own oven. I mean, you live in an apartment, you live in a house, it has an oven. Use it for more than boiling water and making a pizza. So continuing on with my script. So quick home staples. We're starting to see a rise in the popularity for quick assembly style meals like homemade quesadillas. Easy. Stir fries using frozen vegetables and quick cook sauces. Once again, pretty easy. And a breakfast for dinner type strategy. So eggs and pancakes and toast, which honestly, incredibly cost effective. And honestly, most people just want to eat breakfast three times a day. I will definitely take that. People are also relying more heavily on meal prepping and batch cooking items like chicken thighs, chili, or large pasta dishes on Sunday to guarantee at least a few nights of cheap, fast leftovers during the week. And then comes the appliances. Appliances like the air fryer are making homemade versions of fries, chicken tenders, and sandwiches fast enough to generally compete with a drive-through trip. This totally eliminates the high-cost barrier. For those who haven't quit the fast food market, they're becoming expert deal hunters. They are forced to rely on the mobile apps, reward programs, and specific limited time deals to justify purchases. This is changing the consumer experience from a spontaneous decision to a planned, deal-driven transaction. So I mentioned that I don't do fast food much anymore. That's not quite true. Now, I don't do McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, any of those. But the two places I still patronize as far as fast food goes or quick food goes is Taco John's and Taco Bell. Even though their prices have gone up, just like other places, they're not obscenely high to the point where I will not eat there. Now, can I make tacos at home? Of course I can. Can I make potato lays at home? Of course I can. That's not exactly as hard as you think it is. But sometimes I just, don't want to cook. And that's exactly what I use those two sources for. But more often than not, I cook for myself. So, and of course, I use the apps. I love those two apps. I get the best deals on those apps. So if you're going to continue using fast food, use the apps. In conclusion of this video, the shift in fast food pricing is a powerful sign of the current economic environment. Fast food was always the economic safety net, an affordable treat. When the safety net becomes frayed and too expensive, well, people fundamentally change their habits. The positive outcome here, if we can call it that, is a forced cultural push towards the kitchen. Necessity is breeding a new wave of quick, resourceful home cooks who are reclaiming their budgets and likely eating a little healthier in the process. The era of the $5 meal is dead. No more $5 footlongs, no more $5, $6 value meals. The era of the $15 meal is forcing the consumer to now make a choice. And right now, millions of people are choosing to stay at home. So let me ask you this. What price was the final straw for you? Let me know the craziest receipt you've gotten in the comments below. If you want more perspectives on how real-world economics affects your life, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, folks, thank you for being here. Keep a cooking. You got this. You have a great day.